Yeah, so what I've done is I've created a program. I realized there's a need for, as a result of doing some other projects, there's a need for a way to edit your HTML in the browser that is not WYSIWYG and that can be set to select only certain parts of the page. The easiest way to demonstrate. This is this one. This one is actually one of the earlier versions. Forget the text here; it's just nonsense. What this does is you click the button, you open this up in an edit mode, and let's say I want to change the first bit. Okay, the title here, it says Physics Lab. Now that's an H1 tag, and what I'm going to do is we're going to edit the text that's in the tag. And in order to do this, you click on the edit button, and you guess the HTML for that particular tag in the tree structure with all the attributes and the text that's inside it. And when you click on the text pops up in a little text area, and you can just change, let's say, Physics Lab to, I don't know, Science Lab. Save it, and look at the output, and now it says Science Lab. Also, if you click on this button, you actually get the HTML that you've just edited in the browser, and you can actually physically copy all this. You can copy and paste that into any other program. However, that's a slightly older version. This is the latest one. So first of all, what it does, it only uses jQuery. There's no other requirements. And this is a sample of the actual HTML on the page. Now, I hope you can see that. So the jQuery selector here, it says it's selecting any paragraph or any tag here that's got this class called edit me. So you can call this anything you want, but if you've got class equals edit me, what it does is brings up all these buttons. It puts that particular tag into an edit, into a special edit area where you can edit the HTML inside that tag, but you can't edit anything outside of it. So just to make this a little bit more clear, if I scroll down to this one, the second paragraph here. Now we've got a P tag. So basically it's a paragraph. And that's what the actual HTML will look like. I mean, that's what the actual edit HTML would look like. And that's the HTML that you can copy and paste. And this is the same thing again, but just without any kind of formatting. So, okay, so we've got a P tag. So let's say if we want to edit the text, we can click on the plus, and the text comes up in a text area. So if we want to just edit, I don't know, type any old rubbish you want in here, and save it, and now we've just edited the text. In addition, we can also insert a tag. Again, if we click on the plus and go to tags, let's say we want to insert a B tag. It's important to click on has children here, or else it'll give you like a BR tag, an empty tag. What I really should want to do that is change that to empty. So that by default it'll have children. So let's say we select this chunk of text. We want to insert it into a B tag. We click on the insert button, and now you'll see in the tree there's a B. Can you all see that? So there's a B tag here. When we look at the output, we've just made a whole bunch of text bold. And when we look at the HTML, you can see that the B tag has now appeared. And that's it, unformatted. There's a B tag here somewhere. Yeah, B, the closing B is here. So what you've actually done is we've edited HTML in the tag. But what this does, okay, so the point of this is to be idiot-proof. You can only edit first of all, you can only edit it in this tree mode. You can't edit the HTML in any of these other modes. They're just read-only. The idea is, I've worked with programs like Joomla and Drupal before, and they all have come with these WYSIWYG editors. And they easily let you put in let's say a B, an I, a U, and a U tag. But it's very hard to remove them once you put them in. But you can remove them convincingly. And that's because it's done in WYSIWYG. It's trying to see what you get. Well, with this one, you actually see the HTML that's behind the scenes. And it's designed, the idea is you understand a little bit about HTML. You don't have to be a complete expert, but you can't mess it up. Okay, let's just go a little bit further. Let's say I want to insert a list. Well, it's a B tag, well, it doesn't matter. Let's say you want to do UL. Insert. So I've just put in the UL tag. Now I can put in go in here. And if I want to put in a list item, LI, it has children, click there, insert. Let's put in another one. What's it here? LI has children, insert. Boom. And now inside the list, we're going to put in some children. We'll put in some text, save it, just call it 1. Inside this one, we type in 2. Save it. And there's your output. We've just entered we've just created an unordered list with 2 list items in it. And of course, if you want to look at the HTML, that's the actual HTML that you can copy and paste. Now, in addition, let's put in a link. Let's go to this paragraph, select some of it, and to put in a link, we simply put in an A tag, and we hit insert. Now, an A tag by itself is useless. You need to give it a href. You need to give it some attributes. So we can do that. We can click on the A, click on this plus in here, and let's give it a href. And let's give it a site. http:// let's call it engineyard.com. Insert it, save, and now we've got a link to the Engineering website. So if we look at the output, now if we click on this, actually won't go anywhere because I've no internet on this. So what I've just been able to do is create a link. Are we all following this, by the way? Yeah. Okay. So in addition to inserting links, we can also remove stuff. Like let's say we don't want that. Let's say we don't need this link. You can click on the remove button, we'll remove it entirely. Or we can click on the text only, remove A. Okay? And what that's just done is it's got rid of the A tag, but it's kept the text that was in the tag. On the other hand, if you click on the tag and you click on remove, you remove the tag and the text. Okay? So basically, yeah, so that's, the other thing we can do is we also have copy and paste facility. If I go down here to this paragraph, which is a lot more interesting, it's got a like this within this, cool stuff like that. And I can also select parts of the text. So let's say if you want to select these pluses on the left side, they allow, as long as the tags I'm selecting are adjacent, it will keep selecting them as a group. But if I go down here, say, and I select another tag, it won't. It'll only select that one. So it will select any group of adjacent HTML or XML. And if I do that, so I can. So let's say good. I've selected a bunch of tags, and I've copied them. I've copied them into this this clipboard on the side. And then if I can paste them, I can go in here, click on tags. Once something is selected, you'll get a button here that says paste. So I can paste it, and bingo. You've just pasted that bunch of HTML that I selected down here inside the text here. And one other thing this does is that you can only, when you come to actually insert and remove tags, you cannot type the tag into the text directly. For example, if you do, I'll do it in here then. Let's say I want to type in, I don't know, HTML tag. /HTML. Save it. Well, what you actually get is, do it down here, easy to see. Let's say I go in here, if I edit this tag, and I do, let's say, a B tag. Okay, so if I've manually typed in a B tag, if I save it, is actually, what you actually get is escape zone. So you cannot actually mess with a HTML in this. You cannot manually type in a tag. It doesn't work. You have to actually go through the motions of clicking the buttons and getting the editor to put it in for you. So there's the output. Somewhere there, we type in HTML and it's it there. I mean the B tag, yeah, B. Anyway, it is there. So that's basically it. The other thing I'm working on is, at the moment it doesn't have any kind of validator. If you go to insert a tag, like let's say you want to insert a let's say you want to put in an end tag. There's no end tag. But here I've just put in an end tag. So at the moment there's no validation to stop me from doing that. I'm actually working on that. What I've done is, this is the next stage I'm working on is to put in a DTD, a document type definition, which is compiled into JSON. And that will contain information about what tags are allowed into what tags. So let's say what this would let you do is, if you have, let's say, a P tag, and when you go to insert, you could limit it so that the user can only insert, let's say, B, I, and U tags, but they can't insert a link. So when I have this part of it working, this will actually, this corresponds to the DTD format for XML. So the idea is you can limit what tags the user can actually put in. So what this is good for, I've seen some cases of programs that create templates. Let's say for particular, let's say in Joomla, for example, there's one of them, I think it's in Community Builder, that creates templates. And the template's got a heading and text, and they come in a particular class, whatever. But then if you want to go and edit the template that it creates, you open up, it gives you a text box with all the HTML of the page, and you have to go in and edit that. And you can easily mess up. So with this program, it's designed so it should be impossible to mess up your HTML. So you go edit your HTML in the browser, or your XML, and as it stands at the moment, you can't mess up the syntax. Oh yeah, the only validation it does at the moment is if you go and enter a tag, and if the tag has to be has to match the pattern, it has to be just letters, numbers, whatever. But it won't, at the moment it doesn't validate that it's a tag, but if you try and put in, like, say, a space or a colon or something, it'll reject it. Oh yeah, the only other thing I'd show you is go back to the tree. Oh yeah, if you go in here, if you try and edit the root tag, you can't. It's the actual root tag is read only. You can only edit what's inside the tag. So yeah, the other thing I think I have is oh yeah, let's go into this one. If you go back to the A, as you can see, we've got attributes. So I can add another attribute in here. Like, let's say I give it an ID of, I don't know, 7777, insert it. And if you click on the ID, you can then, it opens up another text box that you can go and remove this or edit it or whatever. Click on the ID again, and there it's saved. You can keep adding as many tags as you want. Add another ID, it'll give you an error because you can't do that because it's not. Also, if you try and add it with a space, it won't do it either because it's invalid syntax. But as long as as long as the tag name is valid and as long as it's correct and as long as it's unique, it will be inserted. You can also remove tags by clicking on the minus, and then you save them. That actually physically puts them back into the page. Yeah, that's pretty much everything. I've been writing it for the last maybe 2 months in spare time. And any questions, comments? I'm still awake.
What was the biggest challenge that you faced?
Good question. What's the biggest challenge that I faced? Well, it's written in JQuery and it uses loads of IDs. There's the actual naming system for the IDs for, like, if you look at this whole construction, like you see there's a color scheme. And there's a lot of different naming and ID names and class names and that. Keeping track of them is really difficult. Because once you start having a lot of different, like for instance the tag, like the tag that's the bit that's in blue is a class NN, and then the ID would be something like, this is kind of horrible actually. If you actually look at the HTML that this generates in Firebug, come on, it's pretty nasty. So this is, like the NN is the actual tag name, and all these other ones are different prefixes and stuff that go in there. So keeping track of all that stuff was a lot of fun. Anything else?
And have you thought about how you'd save the, like, is the idea that once you finish editing, you do a push or work to the server, or?
Your question is how would you save it? This doesn't actually save it. I mean, it just edits what's in that div at that time, at the time you're doing it. It assumes that your site is already, that this is already part of a bigger site, and you're saving it with Ajax or whatever host forms or whatever. It doesn't have any kind of a save mechanism built into it, because I'm assuming that that already is part of the page. Anyone else?
Who is it aimed at?
Excuse me?
Who is it aimed at?
Who is it aimed at? That's another very good question. I guess you could call it kind of middleware. It's designed to go. It's a plugin, and it's designed to be like an editor. And it's designed like it's not WYSIWYG. It does require certain basic HTML knowledge, and it's designed to go in, like I say, as part of a content management system that lets you edit, but it lets you edit like a HTML or XML, but it kind of forces you to adhere to certain rules.
Yeah, so for me, I think it's kind of this is terrible, but it strikes me. My mother loves WYSIWYG,
Right, yeah.
Easy. But my father-in-law has enough knowledge that he likes to be able to tinker,
Right.
play around, but he'll do it in a controlled way, so it's not going to go pear-shaped or not going to lose anything.
Right.
It's kind of nice, yeah. So I think
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, thanks. It's actually designed for, yeah, like you say, for someone to tinker.
Yeah, somebody who has knowledge, but not who isn't an expert.
Right, so the idea is that you can't mess it up. You can go in the back, you can edit the bits that you're meant to edit, but you can't. Now, it's not meant to be hacker-proof, it's meant to be idiot-proof. Well, not necessarily idiot-proof, but it's designed so that if you don't get confused with lots of builds or something that you can't really mess up. Oh yeah, you can also, I should have done this, you can also open and close these tags. So, probably not too obvious, but yeah, I think it's down here. You can also, if this is, text this again. Oh, I'm not sure if we can. You should be able to open and close. Oh, there, that one worked. You can open and close the attributes part, and you can also open and close the children. So you can show and hide the whole thing. So it's designed to be like, let's say you're in a company, you would train up your secretarial staff to a certain level that they know what they're typing. But like you say, it wouldn't be for your mother. It wouldn't be for someone who's completely clueless. I'm thinking one other thing there, and I forgot what it was. But yeah, okay. Any other questions? No? Nobody? Okay, well, thank you very much then.